Hello and welcome everyone. What is up everybody? It is the Brotastic Bro, and I am back with you for the next installment of this 48 Laws of Power series. And before we get started, I do ask that you guys do subscribe, as not only will you learn something, you will enjoy hearing about the subtleties of not only your favorite athlete, but I plan to cover some of the most iconic sports moments of all time in this series. We are currently on law number 14 in this 48 Laws of Power series. So that means we got 34 more videos to go after this one. So be sure to turn on the notifications so that way you can stay tuned and up to date so you don't miss new videos like this one. Now, this one is a bit harder than some of my previous videos, as I had to dig a lot deeper in my research to find an athlete that I really feel fits the 14th law of power. However, the feature athlete for this video, and one that I particularly feel is probably the best example, is former NFL safety Lawyer Milloy. Milloy was the starting safety on the first New England Patriots squad to win the Super Bowl. The 2001 season concluded with the 14-point underdog New England Patriots defeating the heavily favored greatest show on turf St. Louis Rams. Super Bowl 36 ended 20-17 thanks to a walk-off 48-yard game-winning field goal by Adam Vinatieri as the clock expired on the last play of the game. Strangely enough, the score of that game, 2017, would actually be the next season the Rams made it back to the Super Bowl to, ironically enough, again lose to the same team with the same quarterback and the same coach. However, after that Super Bowl in 2001, the Patriots had a down year, leaving people questioning Tom Brady's abilities. People were starting to wonder if it was a bit of a fluke. Keep in mind, this is very early on in Tom Brady's career. They put themselves also in quite a bit of a bind. when it came to their financial obligations, as they had given some terrible contracts to veteran players, including the one they had given to Lawyer Milloy. However, the New England Patriots were in a bit of a period of what you could call crunch time, as they knew changes needed to be made if they wanted to contest for another Lombardi trophy. See, at the time, Lawyer Milloy was getting paid well, and when I say well, I mean to the tune of more than $4 million per year. That's a lot of money for a safety, especially when we consider inflation. This was 20 years ago, and the salary cap was lower, as well as, like I said, inflation. The value of money was a lot lower back then. So that being said, the Patriots decided they were in a position where they needed to get Lawyer Milloy to either take a pay cut or restructure his contract in order to supplement the team with more talent to try and get back to the Super Bowl. However, Lawyer Milloy refused to take a pay cut, as why would anyone want to get paid less money to do the same job they're already doing? I understand why he wouldn't want to take a pay cut. If you're doing a job, would you want to take less money to do the exact same job? Probably not. That being said, the Patriots officially decided that they were going to release Lawyer Milloy after feeling as if they had exhausted all their options and deciding that they no longer wanted to pay his contract. In doing so, they cleared more than $5 million in cap space in the process. Bill Belichick even went on to say, "Today is a day that nobody is happy about. This isn't the way we wanted the story to end. This is the hardest player that I have ever had to release. It was the hardest situation that I've had to go through like this, here or anywhere else." However, they neglected to realize that in cutting a man for not taking a pay cut, they would then offend and anger a man who was still quite talented, feeling betrayed by the organization he started his career with and played with, dating all the way back to 1996. It is only natural that a player in that position would more than likely feel scorned, wronged, and betrayed to have been released by the team that he had started his career with. So Lawyer Malloy did what many players do in a situation like this. When they feel betrayed by their team and organization, he went and joined the rival team. Now, the problem with that was that at the time, the Buffalo Bills were a bit of a dark horse contender in the AFC East, as they had a lot of potential and a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement about their up-and-coming stars they had, such as Takeo Spikes, Nate Clements, just to name a few. Keep in mind, at the time, the culture in Buffalo was not aware that they were about to go 15 years until Bills Mafia returned to relevance again, as they knew now. But at the time, you could argue that that fan base had almost been, dare I say, spoiled, having been to 4 Super Bowls in the 90s. Yeah, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they had quite a few years, quite a long run of relevance in the regular season. And at the end of the 90s, they were still a very talented team, having only lost their last playoff game to one of the most ridiculous, miraculous plays in NFL history in the miracle kickoff return touchdown by the Tennessee Titans. Keep in mind, apart from having the stellar rising defense, they also had a former Patriots quarterback at the helm in Drew Bledsoe. This means the Bills now had a player previously in the Belichick New England Patriots system on both offense and defense, as they would have Drew Bledsoe on offense as the quarterback, and then they also have Lawyer Malloy quarterbacking the defense, knowing their system in and out, knowing their adjustments, knowing their audibles, and knowing exactly what to expect for their game plan. Now is the time where the 14th law of power really kicks in. In joining the Bills, Lawyer Malloy was able to share so much knowledge about the Patriots' offensive scheme inside and out, and he would not be shy to fill in with this team as would be expected. What followed in Lawyer Malloy's revenge game against the New England Patriots was only the worst loss in the Brady Belichick era, with the Bills absolutely destroying and thrashing the New England Patriots 31-0. Now, I do feel inclined to state that the Patriots would recover and win their next matchup against the Bills at home later in that season. But we need to just take a minute to admire the absolute destruction that took place on the football field that day. Ladies and gentlemen, the 14th law of power is to pose as a friend, yet work as a spy. And that is exactly what Lawyer Malloy did, as he helped his team pull off a dominant thrashing of the young Tom Brady-led Patriots. An excerpt from the book. Knowing about your rival is critical. Use spies to gather valuable information that will help you keep you a step ahead. Better still, play the spy yourself. In polite social encounters, learn to probe. Ask indirect questions to get people to reveal their weaknesses and intentions. There is no occasion that is not an opportunity for artful spying. Now I'm going to end the video by saying the Bills made the perfect decision in not only hiring a spy but also hiring a player that is already an upgrade at that position from what they already had, giving them the inside knowledge against the New England Patriots. And if you guys are watching this video, you probably are unaware as to just how bad and dominant this thrashing was. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the video on this note. I want you to watch this play, which I am only going to refer to as a big man's dream.
Reward him for it. Intercepted. Picked off right side. Here goes Sam. Oh, no! In your face, Bill Belichick.